This is Real Talk, and today I am going to do a continuation on probably my most popular video, which is a review on my University of Chicago Booth MBA experience. So this video is prompted by an email I received from someone who actually saw the video. I want to quickly read the letter to you and from him and my reply to him. And then we can discuss what is the worth of college education, not just MBA, but college education today. Okay, so let's start. So we'll call this guy Mr. Commander. Okay, so he said, "Hey man, I saw your video about Chicago Booth on YouTube. You laid out a lot of good information. Thank you. I'm trying to make a decision for myself, and I thought I could kindly ask you for some feedbacks. I have a master's in mechanical engineering with 5-year experience in R&D, 2-year experience in engineering, and 4 years in customer service and field services in oil and gas. Basically, I've spent about 11 to 12 years of technical and engineering background. I've been really thinking and trying to change my field and get into jobs that are more business/management oriented for a while. Now within or outside my current company. I have applied for a lot of jobs in consulting, McKinsey in consulting, sales or account management jobs, strategic related jobs. But I have just been rejected and pushed back repeatedly and was told no due to my solely technical background. It seems not having any business/management experience is a good excuse for most these people to just quickly reject. That has made me thinking to get a weekend MBA, either a Booth or a Haas, to boost my background with it. But in your video, you mentioned you wouldn't recommend doing a weekend/executive MBA if someone wants to switch. Could you please share your thoughts on that furthermore? And if you would think of doing a weekend MBA, is it a good idea for someone with a background and who is looking to switch field? I am high 30s. And with no family, so I'm sure I could pay my MBA eventually. Worst case, if the MBA did not do any good, I'll get an engineering job back again afterward and pay my debt that way. Okay, so this was his email to me. And I read his email a couple times just to get the key information. So he's in his later 30s, right? Later 30 years. And he has done a lot of technical and sales job, and he's really want to switch to business related, specifically consulting. So that actually might be a lot of you out there thinking about this. Okay, so this is my honest response to him because my channel is Real Talks. Okay, so I say, "Hey Mr. Commander, you're right. Those consulting guys are not hiring you for other reasons. Having a technical and not a business management background is just an excuse for their rejections. If you want me to tell you the harsh truth, then a part-time MBA, including an evening MBA or executive MBA program, won't help you getting what you want if what you want is to get into business management. In our program, about a third of the people came from technical backgrounds, including engineering, doctors, researchers, etc. And as far as I know, none of them ever made the switch after the EMBA program. They just continued to do what they did before. Some switched jobs, others got a slight upgrade in name, but not in pay, but never really a change in job function. Getting into management requires you to have the right allies in your company, not an MBA degree. Of course, that is not what these MBA programs will tell you. But remember, they're selling you a very expensive product. And just like selling expensive bags and perfume, it is all about selling into aspiration, not reality. Getting into consulting jobs is really about your network and your sellability and not what you know. And do you really want a consulting job or rather the life of a consulting man? If you're good, you'll be staying unmarried even longer while pulling your hairs out, trying to compete with guys half your age and twice as quick. By your age, you should have made a partner in a consulting firm or quit the business already. Not to mention that those guys live out of hotel rooms, eat takeout most days of the year, and have huge pressure over their head to close deals and suck up to their client and their directors every whim. You could do that with a real estate license for a lot cheaper. Okay, I'm exaggerating a bit to make a point. Before you take a dive into MBA, make darn sure what you want is really what you want. Otherwise, you will be $2,000 lighter and even more confused about a career direction. I will find time in this weekend to make a video, which is what this is, and express my thought more in detail. Right now, you're on the outside looking in. The reason for this is not because you don't have an MBA degree. It is because you don't know the doorman. And once you're in, will you like the party and the people inside? Yours truly, real talk. So the next day, he kindly replied to me, and he wrote me a very nice detailed email. And this is what he said. Wow, this video is already almost 7 minutes. I'll make it quick. Thank you, brother. I'd like to know the truth, even if it is harsh. In the past, we actually ended up watching the graduation ceremony of some of these executive weekend MBA schools on YouTube. On some of these videos, they show the name of the person who is about to walk in on stage and receive their MBA degree in the ceremony. I Googled and find out that person on LinkedIn. It's very interesting what you said is true. Many of these people received their MBA but actually continue to do what they were doing before, per what it shows on their LinkedIn. So they never made the type of transition I'm looking for, and it seems the MBA wasn't as useful as a tool to make the transition, even if MBA is from a top 10 school. I work for a Fortune 500 company, so I also looked up many different Fortune 500 company officers and leaders on their websites. My observation was that many of the high-level leaders in industrial engineering companies have a Bachelor of Science in some engineering field. After that, they get into a variety of different roles while making connection, or as mentioned, the right allies. There are many examples of CEOs and other executives who have Bachelor of Science and Master of Science in engineering. And later on in their career, completed a company-specific executive leadership program in top 10 schools, which possibly was paid all by the company anyway. And it seems that it takes 3 to 4 months to complete rather than 2 to 3 years. My gut feelings tells me you are spot on. You are so spot on the perfume example, and the ones who get MBA and succeed in switching are the ones who already have the connections before they started the program. There's a lot longer. He actually wrote me a very detailed email about his life. I really appreciate that because, for me, I don't do this to make money. This for me is a hobby. It's because I want to help people. It's just so much bad and confusing and deceitful information out there. I really don't want people to fall into this because these are huge life-changing decisions you have to make, right? So now that you read this, you heard these correspondences between us two, I want to tell you and tell him what is the value of education today. Well, the first thing we have to think about is define education. What is education? Is education today a scripted classroom setting, or is it something that you learn on your own and through your experience and through your exposure to your work, to people around you, and so forth? Because you probably have noticed in most developed world, whether it's US, Canada, China, or anywhere that I've been to, today blue-collar workers make about as much, if not more, than most white-collar workers, right? You hire anyone to change light bulbs, $100. You fix a car, it's $90 an hour. Now, if you look at a white-collar worker and you look at how much he makes, divided by the number of hours he put in versus how much he takes home, I don't think he makes that much, right? So, why is that? Why is in today's world a blue-collar worker, someone who sells his labor, makes more than someone in a white-collar who sells his brain? And the reason is that Supply and demand, my friend. Supply and demand, that's it. It's so simple, right? How many people out there walking around with bachelor's degree, MBA degree, doctor's degree? I'll give you an example, okay? I did a quick survey while I was on the campus of University of Chicago and asked like how many students are on this campus. This is back in 2016. And the student told me, oh, we have roughly about 11,000 students. And I asked them, how many of those have a PhD degree or higher? And the student body said, oh, about half of them. So out of 11,000 students, just in the University of Chicago, about 5,500 people has PhD. PhD. Too much supply. Now, then you look at MBA classes, right? I don't know, I didn't go to Kellogg, I didn't go to Haas, I didn't go to MIT and Harvard, but let's just take Chicago, for example. Every year, look up their enrollment. Full-time, weekend, executive, part-time, 4 programs. How much do they pump out? How many students do they pump out? I don't remember exactly, I did this figure in my head. I think it was like, oh shoot. And it's global, right? I'm sorry. It's not just United States. You gotta keep in mind, you are today competing in a global world. So you are competing with guys in London, guys in Hong Kong, guys in Singapore, guys in Tokyo. So I remember the figure was around 3,000. It was shocking. It was shocking to me that every year, one school in the United States pump out 3,000 plus MBAs. And that's just one school. How many schools are in the United States? How many schools are in Europe? How many schools in Asia? And these schools are all global now, right? Either they have campus in different parts of the world, or they have collaboration with local campus in other regions. So supply and demand, my friend. What you know may be valuable 30, 40 years ago because no one knew it. But today, everyone knows it. Everyone with a paycheck, a checkbook, anywhere between $5,000 for an online MBA course, or hell, even cheaper than that, $3,000, to anywhere with $200,000 like Chicago Booth elite level can get this information. If you're really dedicated, like I said in the previous video, you can go to your bookstore and library, you get the same exact knowledge. There's no secret they're teaching you in these MBAs. There's all the same stuff that you can find in public information. The question is, are you willing to do the work, or willing to go dig for it? Now, is MBA useful? Absolutely. Like this gentleman said, if your company is trying to promote you and they need this stamp, seal of quality from a top-notch school, go get an MBA or go get a master's degree or whatever. Whatever, it will satisfy the right requirement for you to move up in life. But if you ask me, would I have done it again? The answer is clearly no. Is it useful? Yeah, it was useful. But every experience in life is useful, depending on what you make of it. The thing that made MBA useful for me was because I realized that by paying that fee, I realized finally, for once and for all, that isn't the path I want to take in life. And because of that, I finally got myself on the right path in life, and now I am the 1%. That's it. I mean, I don't want to destroy all your life. And I realized something that's extremely valuable when I look around my MBA classmate was that I'm trying to compete with guys who are as smart as me or if not smarter. How can I win? Right? If you're not Michael Jordan, don't play in the NBA. Go play in Europe, go play in Asia. Don't play in the NBA. If you're Michael Jordan, sure, go get on the baddest, biggest stage on the planet and make that money. But if you're not that guy, you have to be honest with yourself. Are you that guy? Everybody want to be that guy, but are you that guy? If you're not that guy, be honest with yourself, right? It's okay. You can be very successful in life without being the best. There's so many ways to make money. There's so many positions in life. There's so many opportunities. Just get out that bubble that you're in. Get out that bubble you're in and look in the world. That's how you win. There's so many parts of the world that just desperately need talent. Desperately, it needs talents. Some of them I wouldn't go to because even though they desperately need talents, their social, legal, and business structure isn't, the foundation isn't solid enough where you can invest a career into it. But there are places that are desperate need people, and they are ready. You know, there are plenty of countries. You just have to look around. I don't want to name names. That's my business secret. You got to do your own homework, okay? that's my follow-up video. Supply demand, remember. Don't get into something that's oversupplied if you're a seller. Okay, good luck.